My film uses quite a few of the codes and conventions of the kind of thriller horror genre. We have like the anonymous killer whose face is barely you can barely make it out. You have the innocent victim or seemingly innocent victim. We have it kind of develops like I have the using of the knife as opposed to the gun, which seems to be very common in thriller and horror, such as Scream and stuff like that. What I think develops them a bit more is the fact that you find out fairly soon into it the identity of the killer, and that is because something else in my film that I think challenges it is that the stereotypical villain of the piece, the killer, and the stereotypical hero, being the cop or policeman, detective, trying to catch them, are the same person. So it's like him trying to avoid detection, while trying to lead them astray, and all the other policemen trying to catch him and stuff. So it shows the power of kind of higher education, intelligence, and authoritative positions. Because like the killer, because he has like the position of a policeman in the police force, he might use that to gain entrance into the house, and they use it to his intelligence to kind of cover up the whole thing. The only other character is the victim, who isn't seen in any positive or negative light, just as the victim who's kind of picked at random by this psychopath. And you could say that it shows the corruption kind of anywhere, like in the police force, which is something that's usually trusted, and yet we see how it's infiltrated by someone like that. I was thinking Company of Monks is more on the darker and more subtle side of horror, and yet also has made some of the classic things. I've looked at New Line Cinema. They've made like Seven and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th. And that's kind of the thing. It's like mixing those two types of things, the subtle detective, who's the killer, mixed with the bloody, gory, slash and gash, basically, that kind of thing. With most thriller horror films, the target audience is usually teenage males, really. So I think it kind of does aim at them. I don't think there's much social class specified, but I suppose it would mainly be middle, lower class, and it draws them in, just like I said, basically by putting an old new spin on an old classic, the detective, crime, killer genre, but putting a twist on it, kind of thing. I've learned that the straight editing, just by using the pause and record, is far more difficult than using the editing suite, which you might think of it the other way around, just because it's so simple to do the pause and record, but it's just you'll never get the result that you'd want. There's always someone off camera talking just as you go, and there's always big breaks and everything, and I've learned that all the different techniques you can use in the editing suite, such as reversing. A lot I use is reversing and turning it into black and white and slowing down, speeding up, and you just can't do any of that just by using the camera. Looking back at my preliminary task, I've taken a bit from it in the sense that it kind of builds up your expectations and then just kind of smashes them, kind of thing. Not like so that you expect one thing. Like in our preliminary task, it was a drug deal that turned out that they're both idiots, and that neither of them should be in this situation. And in my new one, it's a killer who's also a policeman. So I guess you can kind of see it that way. And basically, I just learned more about the filming process, just because in the preliminary task I didn't have any roll-on, roll-off time, I didn't have any proper editing, and it just turned out a bit... I mean, you could tell it was a first attempt, definitely. Whereas this new one is looking a lot better, it's looking a lot smoother.